Hi, it's me, Jazzy. I'm back with another tech-related video, and today it's that time again. Yep, it's Temu tech time. I've got a whole bag of stuff here that's arrived from Temu. As usual, I've probably completely forgotten what it was I ordered. So let's get this bag over on the bench and see what I got this time. Right, here we go then. Not 100% sure what I've got. Lots of stuff in here. Oh, there's quite a bit. Wow, okay. Let's start with the little one then. What have we got here? There's actually some useful stuff in here, I think. Well, I hope. Yes. I keep looking at these thinking these are going to be super useful. I don't know what the quality is going to be like on them. We might be able to check them out. But there are all kinds of USB adapters for sometimes you can never find the cable you want, or it hasn't got the end that you want on it. I mean, these promise 3.0 and 3.1 USB, so I don't know. I've got a cable tester somewhere. We can test these. So we've got USB A to C, C to C, C to A, all kinds of different. You can make up all kinds of different adapters here. 10 gigabits per second, apparently. USB 3.0 to 3.0. So if you want to extend a cable, I guess. C to C, C to micro USB, okay. Just might be a handy collection of things to have, but I've got what, 3, 6, 9, 12 pieces there of various connectors that all look like they're gonna be pretty useful. So we're off to a flying start with this episode of Temu Tech. Right, so this is my little USB tester gadget thing that I got from Temu some time ago. So you can see that if I plug in this is a USB A to C, which is a charge cable only, doesn't do data. So I get two lights there, VCC and ground, nothing on D plus or D minus. So that's just a bog standard charging cable. So if I plug in a cable like this that does data, we will see, yep, we got lots more lights because we've got D plus and D minus. Yep, so this does data. So I figure what we can do is test some of these. Let's just see. I mean, I'm not able to confirm the speed of this, but I can confirm if this is going to be only good for charging or whether I can use it for data. One thing I would say straight away is the build quality is not optimal. What did I expect? What did I pay for these? £3.40 I paid for these for 12 things. Right, that's already causing me a problem. Okay, so yes, so I can still do data transfer with that, but as you will see, the build quality is not the finest. Would be nice if they didn't fall apart. Micro USB. It'll still transfer data. Sometimes I need to plug something into something and I don't have the right USB cable to hand. So you could make endless combinations of stuff and it seems to do data transfer. So here we go with a bit of a high-speed testing montage. I just want to confirm that they're all good for data transfer before I start using these. You wouldn't necessarily string them along into such a long adapter like this, but it was a quick way for me to check them all out. Okay, so my conclusion is, having tested them all, they will all do data transfer by the look of it. And I think for the fact that they were cheap, £3.40 I think, and I've got, what, 12 there? Of all different ones. I just think they're just super handy. All I bought these for was convenience. Sometimes I need to transfer something or plug something into something and I haven't got the right adapter. So yeah, I think that's a bit of a winner. Remember, never take these episodes too seriously. I buy this stuff so you don't have to. So I can try it out and see if it's any good. Right, I'm glad I got those. What else have I got here then? So this is, what is this? Is this a music player thing? Possibly. Yeah, this is, now I got this because I have a little device that I use. I've used this on the channel quite a few times to test various audio devices, and basically you can Bluetooth something to this and get a phono out or 3.5mm jack out to something. So if you want to test something by putting an audio source into it, I use one as a backup system for when I'm DJing. So if all goes wrong, I can just Bluetooth my phone to it and put this into the mixer, and at least I've got a backup of something, so it's not dead silence. So it's quite a useful thing, and I've used it for testing amplifiers and all kinds of stuff. So it's a very handy thing. Now, I saw this one came up on Temu. It was really, really cheap, and this seems to offer much the same Bluetooth in. This has like a equalizer thing here. Look, normal, classic, or popular. Quite sure what these do. We've got rock or jazz. I should clearly be on that one. And we've got a little turny thing there, on, off. Presume we have to power it, do we? Yeah, DC 5 volts from USB-C. So we've got our RCA jacks out, and we've got an aux 3.5mm. I wonder if that's a SD card slot as well. Slightly larger than the 1mm. This is just a brilliant bit of kit. The advantage this has is you don't have to plug it in. This is it's got a rechargeable battery inside it, so it powers itself, so you don't have to worry about powering it. But this one doesn't, I don't believe. I think this one has to be plugged into USB-C. All right, we get a USB-C to A, and we get a 3.5mm to 3.5mm, and we get a very low quality 3.5mm to RCA. Right, so it does have a use manual. There's not a great deal of information on here, despite the big instruction leaflet. Okay, so I guess it's going to be a case of trial and error, really. So there's not really any instructions. All you've got is your use manual there and your FCC statement, because the FCC won't let me be. So that's all you've got in there, basically, and doesn't really tell you anything about this. So we've got this little, it's like a sort of sprung encoder thing here, so you turn it and it springs back. NFC, near field communication. So all right, let's hook this up. So we're going to need to power it up. This is the size of the USB power cable they give you, so I think I might just use one that I've got here. I don't think that's going to actually reach my power supply. Right, we've got a blue light flashing. I guess that means it wants to pair with something. Right, I think it's this BR05SE. Bluetooth pairing. Okay, apparently this is active. So I've got it paired up on the Bluetooth, and I'm playing a bit of crab rave through, of course. Now, what I've done is I've just got the 3.5mm jack out going to my 8-track player. I just thought I'd use this as it's handy because I've been working on it. And this takes 8-track tapes, which is really cool. I've literally got the phone Bluetoothed to this, and this is just going to external in round the back of the 8-track player. Right, so we've got our preset equalizer things here. So normal, okay, that's quite clear. And then you've got classic, bit muffled, just takes the top end off. Popular, takes everything off. Rock, oh, we've got jazz, that's clearly what I should be using, right? Okay, so that does that. So what does this do then? I'm not sure what this does, unless this is for the pairing, because there's nothing in the actual instructions that tells you about this. So the M and the magnifying glass don't appear to do anything on this. This is the trouble when you buy really, really cheap devices. Often the instructions are a bit lacking. This does the volume, but it's sprung, so you turn it round quarter turn, and then it springs back to where it was. So if you do a quick turn, it goes to next track. Longer turn does volume. Okay. It's kind of okay. I paid £5.43 for this. Now the 1mm that I use, I think it's about £15. So yeah, this is considerably cheaper, but the downside is you don't have the rechargeable batteries. You've got to have it plugged into your USB-C. The instructions are lacking, but it does do what it should do. So if you want a really cheap way of playing some audio from your phone or other Bluetooth device through something like this, which obviously this hasn't even heard of Bluetooth. I mean, the audio sounds fine. I kind of wanted to do a teardown on this, but I can't find a way of getting into it. I had a look under the foam things. There doesn't seem to be any visible screws or anything, so I don't think I can get into this very easily without breaking it, which I don't really want to do, as it is actually working at the moment. The information provided with it just explains how to pair the Bluetooth, but it doesn't explain what on earth this magnifying glass and M button doesn't seem to do anything. Maybe it depends on the device that you're pairing it with. Yeah, if you need a cheap little device for putting audio into something, yeah, it does do the job. All right, what's next? I see some test leads here. These are cheap and cheerful ones again, are they? Multimeter test leads, it says. Now, quite often I'm always looking for budget test leads that are ever so slightly better than the test leads you get with some of the cheap multimeters. I got those Aneng ones before, the gold-plated ones. They were superb, but they don't always have them on Temu. The stuff comes and goes in stock. These are, they look like they're gold-plated by the colour of them. Very sharp tips. Cat 3. 1000 volts, 20 amps. Okay, so these look very similar to those nice Aneng ones that I got last time. So these probes, just had a quick look. I paid £1.57, would you believe, for these? That seems quite cheap. Now, I believe I paid a little bit more for the Aneng ones. Let's have a look. These are the ones I showed last time, and these were branded as Aneng. To be fair, they look exactly the same. They've even got the same logo look on the plugs. I know it's not exactly the same. There is an ever so slight subtle difference, I think. Yes, there is. There is a very slight subtle difference there. So if you've got a cheap multimeter, when you're doing continuity or something, or just anything, just having a sharper tip like this that's a bit better quality. So these were the Aneng branded ones, and this is the ones I've bought. Yeah, you can see they're ever so slightly different. The red colouring is different. Yeah, the markings on them are different. Right, so let me just grab a multimeter that I am familiar with. Now, these were the Aneng branded ones. If you've got a multimeter that's come with some really cheap probes, I mean, probes that you get with cheap multimeters have got better and better, especially in the last few years. But you can see that's instant. That's the Aneng branded probes. I think I paid around £3 something, but these are not always on Temu, so I thought I'd have a look for another option. They are brilliant. They feel reasonable to use, and because they've got the sharp tips, they're good for probing around. Sometimes the multimeter probes have like really sort of rounded off tips. I like a sharp tip on a multimeter probe, and these ones were good, but these were from a previous video. As I say, they're not always on Temu, but there are loads of very, very similar ones. I think when I filmed that episode, the probes were out of stock by the time I got the video out, so I'm hoping that won't be the case with these. Now, these were, I don't think there was a brand on these, but still very good. Yeah, excellent. Okay, so that's a winner. If you're on a budget and you can't afford or don't need an expensive multimeter, and you've got one of those £5–10 multimeters, just a couple of quid on a set of probes like this, and it will make using your multimeter so much more enjoyable. Definitely worth having a spare set in the drawer. Right, what's in the box? What's in the box? Not an actual clue. It's a while ago since I ordered this, and it's been probably sitting around waiting for me to open it for a while. Yeah, I know what this is. Ah, it's a kit. This is brilliant. Right, this is a kit I bought, and it was a viewer suggestion. I love viewer suggestions for kits. This is a robot arm, something a bit different to what we've done before. You've got loads of instructions in here in all different languages. This is like an acrylic assembly, but you have to also, I think, solder up the control board and stuff. So there's quite a lot to this. We've got all sorts of stuff. Look, we've got micro servos in here. This is quite a big kit build. Oh, look at this. This is going to be fantastic. There's our PCB for the control board. Let's have a quick look at that. I like to have a nose, see what we've got in store. I've got a couple of other kits in stock already. So this is the control board. So lots of little tactile switches and stuff going on. Looks like we've got an IC there and various other things, some LEDs and stuff. Plus we've got to build the robotic arm as well. There's loads and loads and loads of stuff in here. I'm not going to pull all this out now. I'll save that for the episode where we're going to build this. Could be a long episode by the look of it. There's a lot of it. Oh, we've got a QR code. Great, so we can get some more detailed instructions. All right, keep that in there. And hopefully we've got some English language instructions in here. Have we? No, 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 no. Hopefully. Yep, there we go. And that's what it should look like when it's done. Looks pretty impressive. So we've got to make up all the control board and we've got to assemble all this, put the servos and stuff on and make it work. So something a little bit different. We've not done anything like this before on the channel, so we'll see how that goes. So that's one to look forward to building. This is not what I expected. Sometimes I get a dud. Thought these were little springs. These are for a, well, they were going to be for an 8-track cartridge thing that I was repairing. Oh, okay. Well, there are some small ones. What am I going to do with these? These are like bed springs. Wow. Okay. I either didn't read the listing properly or they're not representative of what's in the listing. Some of the... Why is there a staple in there? Some of the small ones might possibly be okay. I was kind of hoping they would be a little bit different to this. We might be able to use or modify one of these, but they all look a bit big for what I need. Well, can't win them all. May or may not come in useful. Random springs are always useful. I'm going to have to put them in my little component drawers because it would drive me mad if they're all in a bag, all mixed up like this. Well, we'll see what we can do with them. Not quite what I was hoping for, but could be useful. Again, very cheap. If you need springs, yeah, you can get springs from Temu. This is one that somebody suggested that I should get one of these. It's for bending the legs of components, and it looks 3D printed, to be honest. It's got the different sizes there, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. But you've also got the internal width differences. So, for instance, if you have a resistor, you're not going to be able to get it in that gap. So you just come down to where you've got a gap. I've got the shakes today. That's not good. And you just bend it down like that. That's a 0.6 spacing. So it's 0.6 of an inch spacing. As you can see, it's done an okay job there. See, normally, as you've seen, when I do kit builds, I just sort of eye it up and bend it with my pliers, which is usually okay. It's not always exact, but if you know what spacing you want, I guess after you've done a few, you're going to learn the most often used ones. It does seem quite an easy way. I'm just used to bending it with a pair of pliers, but I thought I'd give it a try. It was pretty cheap. It was £1.46. I've no doubt if you've got a 3D printer, you can probably get a file to print one of these off. It looks like it's been 3D printed. Yeah, you can see it looks like it has. But for £1.46, I guess the convenience of it, I might use it a couple of times in a kit build and see if I think it's any more convenient than just using my pliers like I normally would. But again, if you like a tech gadget, we're all about tech gadgets here. You don't necessarily need it. I don't know, some gadgets are useful, some gadgets are just for fun, aren't they? As I always say on Temu Tech, I buy this stuff so you don't have to, so don't take it too seriously, but it was cheap and could be useful. Couple more items to go. Drive belts. Now Are these for tape or... I seem to recall, these are record player belts. I don't know what they're going to be like, but this is one of those things when you get to the checkout and they get you. They get you at the checkout and they go, oh, you sure you don't also want to buy some of these? And generally I go, yeah, go on then. I don't know what the quality's like on these or if they're going to be the right sizes, but I have 2 record decks here that I need to replace belts on. Whether these are going to be anywhere near the right size, I don't know. But they were so cheap, I thought I'll just get them anyway. And I figure I can try them out because one of the decks I've got is quite an unusual model and the OEM belt for it is quite expensive. So I figure if I've got one here that is the right size, then happy days. If not, I haven't wasted too much money because they were very, very cheap. See, sometimes I get useful stuff off Temu. It's not all novelties. Although I don't know what this is. Does it tell me? No, probably not. It just says input voltage current 5 volts 1 amp. So some sort of USB thing. What is this? I'm not sure. I have a capture card that I use here. Can't lay my hands on it right now. I have a capture card I use when I need to capture something from a non-digital source, i.e. a VHS player, video camera, Commodore computer, that sort of stuff. And the one I've got is pretty limited connection wise. And again, I don't know if it's going to be any good or what the quality is going to be like, but we're going to find out. We're going to try it. So the idea is you can plug this into your PC and plug in whatever you got here. So it looks like we got S-Video, which will be great for my Panasonic video camera that has S-Video out. And we've got our usual composite suspects here, video and left and right audio. Okay. Now the one I had, wherever I've put it, again wasn't a particularly expensive one. And it's intermittent in that sometimes it records and sometimes it doesn't. You can use it with OBS and I'm hoping I can do the same with this and just plug it in. So we're going to try that. It's got some software with it. Don't know what that's going to be like. Way, steady on. All right, we got some instructions, we got some software. Let's see if we can get anything out of it. All right, so let's have a go with this then. So on my previous capture card that I had, it was just plug and play with OBS. So I'm hoping it's going to be a similar experience with this. So, wow, that's not a great confidence-inspiring connection. Now, they do give you a USB extender cable in the package, so I'm going to use that. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can add a capture device then on OBS, shall we? Video capture device. Right, okay. Okay. AV to USB 2.0. All right, that must be our gadget then. I'm going to use a feed from my TV pattern generator, so we've got something to look at, which is over here. So let's have this one. Yeah, there we go. We got it. Brilliant. So that means I can either stream or record. I don't really do streaming these days, but I do record a lot of analog video sources for use in videos sometimes, such as stuff from VHS players, old games consoles, and my Panasonic VHS camera. So here we go. So this is just the output from the TV pattern generator. So I can just use, that's grayscale. Seems to be displaying all the patterns okay. All right, so yeah, I mean, it seems to do the job. You can use the software that comes with it. I did try installing that. It takes a while to install. So this is the software that comes with it. I've had no luck with this software. It doesn't seem to do anything at all, but I can seem to get the image in OBS. All right, so maybe not the best. It was very cheap, clearly too cheap for a capture card. It was £3.84, which is way too cheap. A lot of what I buy for Temu Tech is more about entertainment, and exploring what you can get and does it actually work. I could go and buy a proper capture card, which I probably will do. It's not brilliant, it's not a great experience. If you do need a video capture card, just spend a few more quid on one. So an interesting selection for this Temu Tech Time episode, and some actually fairly useful stuff in there. Now, as I always say, I buy this stuff so you don't have to, so you can see what's good and what's not and make your own mind up on what you want to get. Well, what we have got is we've got a fantastic kit there to put together. I'm really looking forward to building that kit, and that means we can use our component leg bending device. We'll find out whether or not I think that's worthwhile, or whether I'll just end up going back to bending them with a pair of pliers. I don't know. These probes definitely worth the money. I paid all of £1.57 for these, and I think they're worth every penny. I do think, like, if you've got a really, really cheap multimeter, if you're on a budget, just get a reasonable pair of probes to replace what came with it. Anything that's got these gold type tips, I don't know if they're properly gold plated or not, but as we saw, they did perform pretty well and on a par with the Aneng ones that I recommended last time. Stuff comes and goes on Temu, so if the others aren't in stock, then these ones might be. I will put links in the video description, but stock does seem to vary quite a bit from when I start the video to when I get it finished and get the video out. Capture card, this one's not brilliant. No, there's far better ones out there, and I will get myself an actual decent one. This little gadget, the NFC device, yeah, it does work. It does what it's supposed to do. You can Bluetooth to it and put the output either by the RCA jacks or the 3.5mm jack out to whatever you want to play it from. And what we didn't try was the SD card reader. You can pop an SD card in there, supposedly with MP3s on it, and play it directly. Again, a cheap gadget that will do the job, but there's better ones out there. If you get it for the right price, it might be worth it. I find these are a really useful way of testing audio devices when you just need to put a bit of audio into something to check it out. It's pretty cool. These are pretty cool. These were cheap and cheerful. Think I did all right on those. The drive belts, I don't know. I'm gonna have a go at replacing the drive belt on a couple of record decks. I'll see if any of these are a useful size or if they're indeed any good at all. And the springs, yeah, I might find a use for those. Yeah, it literally says 30 grams of mixed springs. I was kind of hoping they'd be a bit smaller, but never mind, some of the little ones might come in handy. You can't win them all, can you? There's definitely a running theme in these episodes that you get what you pay for. But I hope you enjoyed watching what I found this time on Temu Tech. Well, there you go, a rather varied selection of Temu Tech this time around. Some useful, some not so much, but I am really looking forward to building this kit. This looks like it's going to be super fun and a little bit different. Now, one thing I must mention is the prices do go up and down constantly. From when I order the stuff to when I get around to making the video to when I get the video out, the price has changed several times already, and some stuff may or may not be out of stock or back in stock. It does change, so keep an eye out, and if you've seen something you like, just search it up on Temu. You can find similar stuff on AliExpress or Banggood as well. For me, it's all about the fun and the experience of getting this cheap stuff and seeing if it's actually any good at all, and then you can see what I've got and make your own decision on whether you think any of that stuff's any good for you or not. You never know. Either way, it was fun finding out. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode of Temu Tech Time. As always, massive thanks to everyone for watching, sharing, liking and subscribing. And big thanks to all my YouTube and Patreon members. Don't forget you can support me on Patreon and buy me a coffee, which really does help to support the channel and keeps me making more videos. I'll be back soon with another tech related video, but in the meantime, take care, and I'll see you on the next one.